We back on sports. And I know you already see it in the header. You can see my demeanor already. I'm more ready to talk about the end of this video than I am about the rest of this video. But of course, all the festivities that happened throughout the weekend, are definitely going to talk about the other stuff. So before I get started on Eagles football, okay, I do want to talk about baseball real quick. Now, and I say very quick, because as we know, the Phillies, they're done pretty much for the season. We know this, all right? They're done, just done. But Mets fans, we need to have this talk. And I need to know why this is still this sideshow that you were putting on with Tim Tebow. What the hell is going on here? Tim Tebow is not on the Mets. Yeah, he plays in the minors, but even though, if you look around, the articles are starting to say, this has nothing to do with baseball and Tim Tebow. They're using him as a sideshow, as a circus, to draw tickets. Now, here's the thing. I don't understand how you can try and sell this as an official item of the New York Mets, given the fact that Tim Tebow isn't on the damn team. I don't understand this. And I'm sure there's some people out there who are willing to buy this shit. It's unreal. I just don't, but you know what, there's more. Apparently, Philly decided to take their jabs at the New York Mets not too long ago. That's right. And Bartolo Colon, that's right, we got to talk about this. Mets fans, I need to know how you feel about this comparison. Philly media firing all the shots. All of them. All right? And here's the thing. Philly media, they'll talk about our players, they'll railroad our franchises, they'll bag on the fans as well, then turn around and go after the opposing team's fans. And look, New Yorkers, y'all have to understand. All right? Here, if you talk to any Philly fan, they'll let you know the Philly media is garbage. Absolutely trash. Nobody will defend the Philly media here, given the history they have. However, for some reason in New York, you have a tendency to defend your media. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, in 2009, we saw when the Phillies played the Yankees, y'all was quick to put Shane Victorino in a tutu and all this other crap. And everyone was all laughing, and it's funny. So if you're getting upset at this comparison with Bartolo Colon and Andre the Giant, I don't think you really have that much room to talk. But, like I said before, the Philly media has always been a joke. Nobody likes them here, because this is the stuff they try to do. And I know some of you are going to say, well, the Philadelphia media, they try to do their own thing too. And we did not appreciate that at all. Because like I said, they're too inconsistent. Like I said, they'll insult us, then insult someone else, and then want us to defend them. No, it don't work that way. It doesn't with the Philadelphia media. We do not defend them at all. But with that said, I want to move on from baseball onto football. But I do want to give a shout out real quick and say congratulations to the Cleveland Indians right now. They've won, 17, 18 in a row? I hope that it doesn't hit a landslide and that you lose that many in a row afterwards. I really hope that doesn't happen. But but you got to give them credit for winning that many in a row. You have to, all right? But I want to talk about Eagles football. The things that we saw during this game was hard to watch. I understand first game of the season, maybe everyone's just hypersensitive. We're just going through the motions maybe. It was just hard to watch. And I understand, leading up to this, we saw a lot of Philly fans getting ready to go to the Washington Stadium so they can cheer on the team and everything. And I have to say, there's some Washington fans, I think they're a little bit more confident online than they are in real life, to be honest. Because the things I saw at that stadium, like when I'm watching the game, or even when I'm watching the clips that's been posted on Twitter, what the hell's wrong with these people? First off, you're leaving your team. You're just walking out on your team. Look, the game's not over. You're walking out on your team. I don't understand this. But you have a history of this. I mean, we've seen the pictures where your stadium damn near looks empty. And as the reports are showing, it was a sea of green on Sunday in Washington. There were more Philadelphia fans there than there were Washington fans there. And that's a home opener in week 1. I don't understand this. So, let's move on. We'll talk about that some more. I want to move on to the actual game. There was things that very upset me very much. I think the worst thing, the worst player on the team, all right, this week was who? Lane Johnson. I told y'all before, I want Lane Johnson off this team. I don't know how many times to say, look, if anyone has not been paying attention to what Lane Johnson has been doing on the offseason, because, he's trying to get his persona out there, because he know if he get caught again with the junk, he done. 3 strikes, you out. We know that. So what did he do? He was on ESPN. He's talking all this media stuff. He's giving these interviews. And every time I go on Twitter and I see these type of articles being written about him, you have these Eagles fans who are just cheering him on. Yeah, He said it right. I'm hyped. I'm ready. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Lane Johnson wasn't ready yesterday. Lane Johnson was getting bodied on that line all day yesterday. That Wentz interception, what happened? Lane Johnson got pressed back. It was a deflection and an interception. That's what happened. All right? Lane Johnson did pretty much nothing out there. That man needs some help. I don't understand. And this is the first game of the season. This is the one you're supposed to be prepared for. This is the one you're supposed to be so hyped for that, you may burn out your battery by the end of the game because you played at such a high level. And yet you were getting pushed back and destroyed every time. Every time. There's been so many plays I've been watching. It's like, whoa. Like, okay, so you didn't even try to, pull guard. Like, pull right, pull left. You have to create that hole, so that the running back can get through. Nope. What he do? Go straight backwards and just drop his hands. Why are you dropping your hands for? What the hell's wrong with you? Then the penalties that came in with him. Then like I said, I want this guy off the team. Obviously, he hasn't had a good game since he hasn't been off the stuff. And it goes to show you that assist really meant something to him. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's not a good player. And he makes too many excuses. You got to think, he's been busted twice for the jump. He trashed the fans not too long ago, all right? And then he wanted to apologize for it. And then before the season started, he had an article talking about something. If you're only the type of fan who only shows up, during the season and only wears green to the home games, we don't need you. Like, did you not learn your lesson last time? All of a sudden, you're Mr. Pro Fan when you were just bagging on us not too long ago. I'm not buying this shit. You gotta be kidding me. So no, Lane Johnson, you can eat a dick as far as I'm concerned. You played bad, and until you decide to start playing good, you're going to be in the doghouse. You shouldn't even be on the team as far as I'm concerned. But, hey, that's just me. Anyways, the offensive line in general has to do better. They have to. Carson Wentz, you see these highlights of Carson Wentz escaping these tackles and in the pocket and throwing and doing all this stuff, and it looks nice. But if you had a good line that can contain that problem, he wouldn't have to do that. Granted, you can't, there's going to be a breach every once in a while, but you got to protect your quarterback and give him time. And as you saw, both teams, Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, both making a lot of plays on their feet. That goes to show you that we have an offensive line problem. Washington also has an offensive line problem. All right? We saw not too long ago, one of our guys just went out, got hurt. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to get too upset about it. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks, I believe. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I felt the defense saved a lot of us, a lot of actually Doug Peterson's play calling this week. I should say yesterday, this weekend, past weekend, previous weekend, since it is now Monday. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think that Doug Collins. Did I call him Doug Collins? Doug Peterson. You might as well call him Doug Collins because the way he coaches the same way. But the fact is, Doug Peterson I don't understand what he's doing. He's doing this trick type of plays. Seriously, I never thought I'd see a plan where you switch packages as an illusion. And it's not that that's cool. No, it's bad. You know what I mean? You only do the switch like that in an audible. You're on the goal line. You can't get in. You really can't. You're on the goal line. You have to do that trickery type play and try to confuse Washington so you can get into the touchdown. You shouldn't need all that tricking, illusion just to get in for a damn touchdown. You shouldn't. You're on the damn goal line. It's one of those things. I just saw a number of really bad decisions. At one point, they weren't even running the ball. What was the point of having LeGarrette Blount out there, or Smallwood, or Sproles? What's the point of having these guys if you're not going to run the ball? I don't understand. Throw, and throw some more. You become predictable. Andy Reid syndrome. I don't get it. Carson Wentz, I felt he still managed the game very well. Had over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, the interception, I think it's an anomaly since it was a batted ball. And, there's nothing you can do about that. Batted ball, interception. It was a pick 6 to make it even worse. If you think about it, the points that the Redskins scored, they really didn't have that many points. So I felt defense did their job. You got to think, with the pick, on top of the pick 6, they had 17 points. So defense did their job. They did. Creating pressure. They sacked, Cousins, 4 times? They looked really good. They did. Special teams, yeah. You know what? Look, Sturgis, he's still suspect. He's so inconsistent. One man he'll miss How do you miss it? Okay, just y'all saw for what it was. Y'all did. I don't even think I didn't really need to talk about this. But then turn around, make a 50-yard field goal. Whatever. First game of the season, we know there needs to be adjustments. There's no way that you can be up 13-0 and just let the Washington Redskins come back. And seriously, you let them come back, and they had the lead at one point. Like, no, this is something, once you have that lead, you have to maintain that. You have to keep that consistency going. And it seems like we didn't see that enough. So as far as I'm concerned, with the Eagles, if I was going to give them a grade for winning the football game, maybe a C+, maybe a B-. And I only say that due to the fact that, I'll say a B-, because the defense really did their job this week. They did. They did their job yesterday, and you got to give them their credit. You have to, all right? Carson Wentz, of course, now that he's got some air support, it goes to show you that he can throw the ball down the field. You know what I mean? He was chucking it. And, of course, because you have all these threats on the team now, Aguilar, he can actually, get open and do something. And it was just really weird because there was times where it was like, oh, there goes Nelson. Let me throw the ball high. Like, what? So, yeah, it was really weird to see. But I've seen articles already. Finally, Aguilar's, or Aguilar, I don't care, Nelson. I'm not going to call that man by his straight name, real name yet until he decides he wants to start playing real football. They're like, finally, his offseason is paying off. It's one game. It's one game. His transformation, his change is paying off. It's one game, bro. One game. All right? Relax. Everyone needs to make adjustments. What I saw on that field was hard to watch. That first half was hard to watch. It really was. But as time going on third quarter, I was like, okay, maybe this is getting a little bit better. And it started. But like I said, I want to credit mostly the defense. They did what they needed to do. They were getting turnovers. They were doing what they needed to do. Hassling the shit out of them. I mean, secondary, I have to say Malcolm Jenkins did a really good job because he was matched up on Reed. And, Reed was their primary guy. They lost Deshaun. They lost Garcon, so Reed is their guy. And they had no one else to step up for him. So I thought, Jenkins did a really good job on that coverage. Overall, like I said, I give him a B-. Defense did the job. Defense bailed Peterson out a lot. And I don't know if you can get that every week. Especially as it goes later into the season. Them boys is going to get tired. You know that, right? Okay. They're going to get tired. But the fans, I said I'd get back to this. The fans, y'all got to chill, man. Look, I understand y'all hype for the games. I get it. And you win Washington. But some of these type of things are not called for.
Say what? Shut up! Shut up! Make me shut up. I hope he does.
And that's what's embarrassing. As Eagles fans, it is. Let's be real. Look, if a guy was yelling like that and look, opposing team or not, he could have been an Eagles fan acting like that. And I'm watching him, bruh, sit down. I understand you hype, but chill. Wait for something to happen. And that dude is like 100 pounds soaking wet. Stop, man. Just stop. I understand you hype, but sit down. Wait till something happens before you act up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, anybody knows here in Philly, if an opposing team had acted like that towards us, we'd have been right on it. You know that. So you can't even get on the Washington Redskins fan for telling them to shut up. Anyone who's ever been to a Flyers game, as soon as, say, the Penguins score and the fans, stands up and cheers, there's at least 10 or 15 people getting ready to get on him, and the rest of the stadium is booing him. Because they're not playing that. They're not having that. Sit down, shut up. You had your little couple seconds to cheer. Now it's time for you to sit back down. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. Same thing with baseball. Okay, your man did something. You get your couple seconds to cheer. Sit the fuck back down. That's how it is. We're like that. So you can't even get on Redskins fans for acting that way. You can't. Old boy went too far. He was way too extra with it, as far as I'm concerned. And he really did go too far. But we have more. Now, since I've already showed you the part with Eagles fans acting a fool, now I gotta show you the part with the Redskins fans acting a fool.
Look at them! Look at them! Look at their faces! Look at him! Look at him! Oh, look at him! Yeah! I need that! I need that energy! I need that love! I need that love! Your tears give me strength! Oh, yes,
How many
way.
rings?
See?
How many rings?
Do it matter? No.
Does
Did we win
it?
tonight?
3.
Yes.
3.
Are we in
There you
DC? No. We're in
No.
Maryland. How many rings you win in
go.
Maryland?
How many rings?
How many
rings do you have though?
How many
rings?
How many you win in
You're
Maryland?
trash ass city. Go back to your trash ass city.
How she ain't answer my question? How she ain't answer my question?
The homeless
Oh my gosh. Let me put those tears. Oh, so salty.
It's always some fucking idiot who's got to bring up rings. Look, it don't matter about rings. It's in the now. Your team is losing now. As you know, teams are still in the field. If you know, teams are still in the field, all right? They're on the side, still in the field. So why y'all leaving? Game not over. Why y'all leaving? All these people leaving, and it's funny because, you know, you can tell some things are really funny. The guy's like, the guy's flipping the finger. It's hilarious. That's funny. That's salty. But for her to get in that dude's face and act that way is absolutely ridiculous. And I put it like this. Well, I showed y'all before. Remember, at the Flyers game, when that girl from the Penguins punched that guy who was minding his damn business out on camera, and then they had to escort her out the building. She was acting all fool. Yeah. Mind you, girl's like 100 pounds. All right, acting a fool. This is the same thing. I would have loved to have seen the guy, the Eagles fan, who was so hype up in the stands, and that girl. I would like to put them two together and see how that would have played out. I would have loved to see how that would have played out. See, people go too far. You know, oh, you trash ass city. Y'all realize Washington ain't that great, right? Y'all realize Maryland ain't that great, right? All right, then. So for you, trash, all your homeless people. Yeah, we have a lot of homeless people, but guess what? Y'all got a lot of homeless people, too. There's homeless people everywhere. So it doesn't matter. See, everything that she's saying, trying to justify, and she's salty as fuck. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's salty as fuck, all right? But you got to be kidding me that you're going to go that far. Eagles fans have every right to cheer at that point. As you can see, everyone's just dancing and having a good time. Washington fans leaving. Hey, if your team played better, you wouldn't have to worry about that. I guarantee you, though, if your team would have won and Eagles fans was leaving, you'd have been acting the same fucking way. So I'm not trying to hear that you're going to get in somebody's face and act that way. You want to record and cheer. We've done it. We've all done it. Laughing and joking and everything. But for you to be so fucking petty to come over and be like, how many rings? How many rings? When's the last time Washington Redskins been in the Super Bowl? Huh? All right, then. I ain't trying to hear it, man. So, yeah, like I said, we talking in the now. We're not talking then. That's why when people start talking about how many rings you have, that shit gets old quick. It does. Gets old. That's like if the Jaguars came along and beat you, you're going to be quick. How many rings? How many rings? How many wins you got? How many wins you got? How many wins you had last season? Really? Like, come on. But speaking of the Jags, I guess we can move on to the rest of the NFL. Speaking of the Jags, all right. They put on a hell of a display. Was it yesterday? All right, they did. I did not expect that at all. It seems like it didn't matter if Blake Bortles was out there. Blake Bortles was out there. They was just taking him to task. I don't understand what happened out there. Like, there's a number of games this week that just was just like, I guess maybe it's just week one upset, so it's just what the hell. Like, the Patriots got rolled over by the Chiefs. And if you watch the game, the first half, it seemed like the Patriots were going to run away with this. And then the Chiefs started coming back, and all of a sudden, the Chiefs won the game. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? You know? Atlanta barely came back to win their game against the Bears. What was it? Listen, Jaguars won. The Dallas Giants game was very disappointing. And I say it's disappointing because, not because Dallas won. Dallas deserved to win. But the New York Giants didn't play. They didn't play. Their offensive line was just like, it's literally like, as soon as it snapped, they stood up and it was parted ways. And Eli was just like, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to throw it away. Or I'm just going to throw it 2-5 yards. At one point, Eli Manning had thrown so many passes, but it only averaged up to like 60 yards or something. 36 yards or something like that. Because he was just throwing literally 2-yard passes and they were going nowhere. Eli Manning couldn't get anything done. All right, that's what it is. And for every talk we've heard about, Beckham being on one side and Marshall being on the other side, so what you're telling me is if Beckham goes out, then y'all can't convert on anything. So you got Brandon Marshall and y'all still can't convert. Y'all still can't win games. So, and I hate to say that Eli's an aging quarterback. He is. I've never liked Eli Manning due to the fact of the way he throws the ball. And we've talked about this before. He's like, he throws the ball. And Giants fans are just now starting to see. It's like, yeah, look at the way he's throwing the ball. We've been talking about this for years. But it is what it is. I feel as though the New York Giants, they just didn't play well. It's almost like they didn't come to play. I mean, we'll see what the adjustments they make, but the Dallas Cowboys definitely deserve the win. They did. Now, I have a problem with Ezekiel Elliott playing due to the fact that everything that's going on with him, and you can't force, that type of legality, and all of a sudden decide, oh, he can play until then. Because, they have to go to court and everything. But until then, he can play. Like, come on, that's an absolute joke. Now, don't get me wrong. Whether you feel he did, this thing with this girl or not is one thing. I'm not talking about that. But the fact is that they automatically gave him the suspension. That's what they're going to stick with. And now you're forcing this, all this other. There's pretty much loopholes. That's what it is. Loopholes in the system so you can keep playing. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. But the Dallas Cowboys did deserve the win. So I'm not going to take anything away from Dallas. They deserve to win. Giants didn't come play. That's simple. They got rolled over. Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, that, once again, close game. Another close game. Browns fans were very upset about the hit that happened. It was a late hit. Pittsburgh fans, of course, they're drawing back and forth with each other. Hey, we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, as we know, Pittsburgh is, dare I say, I don't want to say a dynasty, but you have to, given the fact of what they've done in the past. You can't count out the Pittsburgh Steelers any season, all right? They usually make the playoffs every season, if not very close to being on the cusp of it. But they usually make the playoffs every season, so you got to give them that respect. I mean, they're a far cry away from being the steel curtain that they used to be, but either way, they're still a great, solid football team, and you can't take anything away from Pittsburgh. Cleveland, as we know, they're rivals. Cleveland Browns fans can say whatever they want about Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? They're rivals. So, I mean, but they were upset. They felt as though they should have won the game. And, it's only week 1. I would say better luck next time. But, of course, we also don't know how Cleveland's going to rebound from this. Because this is how it starts every season with Cleveland. They lose, and you're like, okay, maybe next season they can pull out a win. I mean, next week they can pull out a win. And then they don't, and it just keeps going. It keeps spiraling downward. And you don't know what's going to happen with them. And then before you know it, the fans are upset, they quit, and whatever. And it's like, okay, now you got to wait till next season. That's what happens to the Cleveland Browns. So I think it was very important for the Cleveland Browns to get off to a good start this season and get that win. And because they didn't, it's going back into the old Cleveland ways, it seems. Seattle. Wasn't very impressed with how Seattle won. I shouldn't say Seattle and they won. I'm sorry. I wasn't impressed with Russell Wilson. Given the fact that you're supposed to be a quarterback and you really didn't do anything, you're really a game manager that game. You really were. And there was another game too. Carolina. Yeah, Carolina. Let's talk about this. Against San Francisco. This is one that's very disappointing. Carolina, you're playing against a San Francisco team that pretty much has nothing. They're pretty much a gutted team. They are. They're a gutted team. Chip Kelly blew that team up to kingdom come just like he blew up the Eagles. Because that's what he does best. Blow teams up. All right? But the fact that you know how weak the San Francisco 49ers were, and Carolina, you still couldn't get that much. You didn't really put that many points on the board. I'm shocked. Cam Newton is, I don't know if it's because of his shoulder surgery that he's having problems, but I saw a number of throws that he should have made that he didn't. And then there's times where he's throwing in double coverage and ends up in an interception. I don't understand what Cam is seeing out there yet. So Carolina fans, I can understand if there's some concern. You know what I mean? I don't know. And of course, the Rams and the Colts aren't going to be the same until they get Andrew Luck back. I mean, if you saw that game, it's kind of like it's quite obvious they need Andrew Luck. It's quite obvious. So there's there. Or should I say there's that? But we do have a Monday night game tonight. The Saints are playing. I expect and Minnesota's playing. I expect the Saints to win against Minnesota. I expect Drew Brees to throw for at least 300 yards. I feel as though Adrian Peterson, now that he's on that team, will open up even more space for Drew Brees to operate. And Drew Brees, before he even had a really good running game, he was still putting up these yards. So I can only imagine what he's going to do with Adrian Peterson out, back there. It just so happens that they're playing the Minnesota Vikings. In the schedule, they did it before Peterson was even traded, or should I say, went to New Orleans. But we'll see what happens. But Vikings fans, I need to have a talk with you real quick, all right? Because I'm not putting your team down. But your fan base, and I have to talk about this, y'all should know by now, when you're a Vikings fan, all right, or any football fan or any sports fan, even if you don't want a player's jersey and you get a custom jersey, you still get numbers on it. I don't understand. What is this? What is this I'm seeing right now? 00 though? 00. Y'all know better than this. Y'all know, look, it's like the dude couldn't afford an actual jersey. Like I said, even if you don't want a player's name, you at least get a number, maybe for yourself and put your own name on the back of it. Or maybe if they don't make a throwback player that you like, then you go through the custom version and you put their number and their name on the back of the jersey or something. I don't understand anybody who does it. It almost makes me feel as though this is one of the guys, and for those in Philly know what I'm talking about, couldn't afford a real jersey, so he went to the tent. He went to the corner of the block where they have those tents up, where they have those other jerseys, and that's where he decided to get it. Feels like I don't understand this. I don't at all. Maybe Vikings fans can help me out. Maybe there is a 00 that I don't know about. But as we know, 00 is like the creative character on Madden. Like that's like why would you do that? I don't know. But overall, let's just keep moving, right? I do want to talk about the Griffin Force flop of the week, and it is football, but not the NFL. Football overseas. People, you can't tell me that this is okay. How do you throw, if you want to even call it a punch, and the guy, apparently it must have been some type of Hadouken, or it was something that we didn't see, some type of telekinesis. Maybe he used the force. I don't know. But apparently it was strong enough to hit this guy and make him fly backwards.
Olha, bola no meio, ele ergue, atinge o Guerreiro vira o braço, mas não atinge, e aí acaba até simulando.
Are you serious? Y'all see that? Like, nowhere even near touching him, and he throws himself back. Man, red card hit, red card, get out of here, leave. You can't tell me, look, it's too, it's so embarrassing to the sport. It just is. You can't tell me it's not. But let's move on, shall we? Oh my God, let's move on. Okay. Let's talk about Chelsea versus Leicester City. Or should I say, I can't talk about Chelsea versus Leicester City because they didn't air it here. Again, I don't understand this. You have the defending champions playing against the defending champions of last season, and you don't televise it? It's not on NBC. It's not on NBC Sports. It's not on the app. It's not anywhere. I tried to go on a stream. Nothing on the streams to find it. For what I was told, they weren't even televising it overseas. What is going on? What is this all about? This is a highly profile matchup game, and you don't play it? But instead, we saw Everton. We saw Arsenal. Like, what? What the hell's going on with these schedules? I don't understand how such a big matchup, and for what I saw on Twitter, when they kept tweeting this stuff, apparently it was a really good matchup, too. Chelsea won 2-1, so it wasn't like this was like a runaway, apparently. So, I mean, but then again, I didn't see it, so whatever. But it's absolutely ridiculous they didn't air this at all. Like, what the hell's wrong with these people? And then you wonder why. This is, again, like I said before, just a couple seasons before, they weren't even airing Premier League here. And once again, they're being selective on who they air. I don't understand how the TV contracts are working due to the fact that you would think that you want the defending champs playing the previous defending champs on... I don't understand that. How do you not air that? The companies here who are airing this stuff is so bad at what they do. It just is. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, so they won, I guess. I can't even critique it because I don't know. Yeah, I love that. So, I guess we'll move on from Premier League. And we need to talk about one Sloane Stephens. That's right. For those who know, Sloane Stephens had some powerful words after she won not too long ago. For those who know what I'm talking about, and the reason I want to stress this, I feel as though this video is very important. And I want you to hear this because I've been talking about these type of things for a very long time here on Video About Sports. And now I want to show you exactly what she's talking about. So let's take a look.
And I think parents don't get enough credit. When I was 11 years old, my mom took me to a tennis academy, and one of the directors there told my mom that I'd be lucky if I was a Division II player, and I got a scholarship. And I think any parent that ever supports their child, you could be me one day. So parents, never give up on your kids, and if they want to do something, always encourage them.
There's a great example for everything that I've talked about here. I've shown you for how long, and I've said for how long, that sometimes it's not about the pro sports. That you need to go down into your local levels. You need to see what's going on and promote those people. Because, and I said, what did I tell you? I said, the radio personalities, they don't care about the local sports. This news, they don't care about the local sports. Hell, even some YouTubers here, they don't even go down to their local neighborhoods and talk about the local sports. Everything is about pro. I said, but what did I say? I said, but they never talk about, those guys who, before they get to being at that pro level. They never do. You never see them at that pro level. They don't care. That's what it is. You think these athletes just come out of nowhere, I'm a pro now. No, that's not how it works. You need to see them on everything that they're going through at the time. I think what Sloane Stephens is saying is a good testament to that. I feel as though there are too many people still worried about pro sports all the time. And you've seen it here. I always talk about local stuff. I always talk about what's going on, trying to get things together, showing you on camera the places and people are playing and stuff like that. I always show you, do I not? So you can't say that I haven't been consistent with this. For Sloane Stephens to say, as an 11-year-old kid, she was told, that she would never, be at that high level. She would be lucky to be at a specific level and then exceed those expectations. It goes to show you the shit that athletes go through and how many people will put you down while you're trying to be something that you dream to be. Now, with that said, I do want to move over into boxing because that is going to play a part. But I want to talk about a very serious issue first before I get back into that part. And I know you already see it in the header. Like I said, I've been waiting to talk about this. About boxer suicide prevention. Now, for those who don't know what happened not too long ago with Adrien Broner, AB. Look, y'all already know how I feel about Adrien Broner. I'm usually on the fence with Adrien Broner. There's times where I watch something of his and I think it's hilarious and I'll laugh. And there's times where he'll say something and I'm like, yeah, I just don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I disagree with that completely. There's times that he said things that I do disagree with. So you know that I'm always neutral with Adrien Broner. I don't watch Adrien Broner to see if he's going to get knocked out or stuff like that. And I know a lot of people do. They want to watch him to see him lose, and they want to watch him so they can make fun of him. But here's the thing. Given what has happened not too long ago, and it's weird because when I was looking at UFC news, all right, because as for those who don't know, UFC, they had a horrible weekend, all right? Their main event with their women's bantamweight title, the fans were cheering, they were chanting for their hockey team. They didn't even give a shit about the fight. But the fact is, when I was looking at UFC news, Adrien Broner came up in UFC news because of the whole Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fight, and how everything went down. And Adrien Broner told Conor McGregor he should retire from boxing, or just fighting in general. Quit. He was like, or I'll fuck you up. That's what he said. Quit or I'll fuck you up. And then he added, he was like, the man got $100 million, off that fight. Why wouldn't you retire? You know what I mean? Like, you should be partying. You know what I mean? I think it was just, I don't even think that was just reference towards Conor as it was him and Floyd in general. You know what I mean? They made a lot of money that night. So, with that said, and I really don't want to touch on that fight. I've said enough on Twitter about that fight. I don't want to touch on it. But when I started seeing that Adrien Broner said that, I was like, you know what? Let me see what Adrien Broner has been up to. And lo and behold, Adrien Broner apparently not too long ago got into a fight on the Las Vegas Strip where he knocked some guy out. Now, there's video of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link of the video in the description field. Okay? And you have to understand, the way these people are making it seem, oh, he pushed a woman, he almost knocked her down, and he hit a guy and knocked him out. The video is so chopped up that we don't know the context of all this, okay? It seems like even when he pushed the woman, it was more like, get off me, leave me alone, don't stop bothering me, get off me. And she kept bugging him. He was like, he shoved her, get the hell away from me, you know what I mean? And he just kept walking, and she kept chasing him. And that's what it seemed like. So it seemed like it was a very big problem that happened, because he was taking pictures with fans before that. And it seemed like it was almost like a domestic thing. But we don't know. Then it cuts automatically to him punching a guy in the face. And the guy is he's done. Now, mind you, Adrien Broner he fights at 40 pounds, 47 pounds every once in a while, 42 pounds, depending. But he probably walks around at like 160 probably, I would say. All right, that's hydrated. So, during the cut, you see the punch, and the guy's out. We don't know, and it says even in the article, we don't know if there was a previous altercation with this guy, or this guy was just sitting there minding his business, and Adrien Broner just punched the hell out of him. Nobody knows. No one has any story on this. But this is what we see from all the cuts. And of course, people are making judgments from all the quick cuts. And it's kind of hard because Adrien Broner came out afterwards, and he says, look, I need help. He's like, I need someone to talk to. I need help. There's something wrong with me. I'm even contemplating killing myself. That's what he said. Look, this is not the first time this has happened with Adrien Broner. Remember, last time he tried to kill himself, Floyd Mayweather came to his to his place, put him under his wing, had him stay with him for a bit to calm him down. Remember this. So this is the second time now that we're seeing, and Adrien Broner is telling you himself, he needs help. He needs help. So I have to question, why is there no one in his family trying to get him help? Why is there nobody in his fight team trying to get him help? Why isn't any of the boxing commissions looking into this and getting him help? All we see is people constantly getting on him. Yeah, he's acting a fool in the ring, he's doing this. He's not of his right mind. Do you not understand this? Do you not understand this? He's saying to himself he needs help. He's not all there. And yet people were saying, ha ha ha, I'm going to laugh at Adrien Broner because he lost to another fighter. Or ha ha ha, I just watched him lose. And he's going to act the fool, blah, 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 blah. And the media plays it up all the time too. There's something wrong with him. And at this point, I don't think it's an act. This is the second time now he has done something like this. Like I said, I thought it was funny when he was trying to toss it up in Walmart. I thought that was hilarious. But that's a joke as opposed to, him hauling off and punching somebody. That's different. And for those who understand, a trained fighter, you got to think, even if he was at 140 pounds, a trained fighter is going to hit like a truck. All right? He's a trained fighter. He's a world-class fighter. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to put people down. So the average everyman who doesn't train or fight like that but thinks they're hard asses, yeah, they're in a rude awakening right now. The man needs help. As he said, he needs somebody to talk to. I am disgusted that nobody has said, okay, this is a problem. We need to do something about this. And I don't mean that, from a personal standpoint on his friends and family, but even professional standpoint from the commission. I mean, let's be real here. Frank Bruno, all right, for those who don't know, Frank Bruno, when he fought, huge depression. He was bipolar. What happened with Frank Bruno? All right? Afterwards, they put him in the hospital because they thought he was crazy. They didn't think there was any medicine that could help him. Frank Bruno spent so much time in the crazy house, it was ridiculous. Now Frank Bruno is out, and what's Frank Bruno doing? Trying to raise awareness for people who have bipolar disorder. Trying to raise awareness that there's boxer depression, stuff like this. Look, y'all guys have to understand, I deal with this type of shit every day. In my facility, there are so many guys who mentally are just, you have to understand, when you are fighting and you have promoters who want to use you like sacks of meat, you know what I mean? They don't give a shit about your well-being. They don't care about that type of shit. Then you have the media who puts so much pressure on you. Oh, well, he lost his first fight. His career's done. It's absolutely ridiculous. The pressure that they put on a fighter for, you got to think the guy's already in there getting punched in the face, constant, like concussion after concussion, but he's trying to make money. He's trying to eat. It's probably the only way he knows. Tell me this. How many boxers do you know? All right? Started out mega rich and decided, I'm just going to go into the profession of boxing. How many? All right then. The fact is, all these fighters that you see, they come from hard, tough backgrounds where they had literally nothing. And that's what they did. That's what they're going to do to survive. They're literally going to fight to survive. And then you have these guys in this media who are going to sit here and tell you, he's not that good. He's not worth it. He's not world class. He's not going to ever be anything. For example, for those who don't know what happened just not too long ago, over the weekend, Chocolatito, man, got beat. Mind you, he was the champion. He's been a champion for so long. He has 45 wins or something like that. All right? Got into this fight with this guy the guy just had his number. All right? And we always talked about how you shouldn't get into exchanges, but this guy was beating Chocolatito round after round after round. And you know what? Chocolatito went on his shield. They both threw a right hook in exchange. Chocolatito got the worst of it, and he was done. He was out. Kaput. Finished. Done. KO'd. You know what I mean? But he went out on his shield. You know what I mean? Now, the announcers at the time are Max Kellerman, Jim Lampley, and Andre Ward. As soon as this happened, who's the first person to say something? The person who doesn't fight. Max Kellerman. Chocolatito can never come back from this. Ever come back from this. Jim Lampley co-signed that shit. Alright? He'll never come back from this. This is too much for him to come back from. Are you serious? Are you serious? You're talking about a guy who had a hard life, got into boxing, fought for a number of years, was because he just lost the title, was a world champion, and you're going to tell me he can't come back from that devastating knockout. It was a hell of a knockout, but you can't tell me he can't come back. Andre Ward, on the other side of them. Andre Ward, during this fight, he is saying, Chocolatito doesn't look mentally ready. He doesn't look like he has a plan for this guy. He doesn't look like he can set traps. Physically, he's being overwhelmed. So Andre Ward is saying all these things that says Chocolatito will lose this fight. But Andre Ward did not once come out and say, his career's done. His career's done. No. You want to know why? Because Andre Ward fucking know better than that. Because Andre Ward was pulling the shelf for years, and the same guys that he was standing next to was saying, Andre Ward may never be the same again since he's had such a layoff. Andre Ward may never be able to recapture a title. And what Andre Ward had to do? Andre Ward had to grind, went to a new promotion, was fighting, at one point fighting on fucking BET. Andre Ward had to prove people wrong. And regardless on how you feel about Andre Ward and what happened with Kovalev in both fights, okay, Andre Ward had to prove everyone wrong that said that he could not do it. So Andre Ward knows how it feels for the media, the guys that he's sitting next to say some shit like that. It is absolutely disrespectful to say something like that. Now, granted, Chocolatito's getting old. Maybe he wants to retire. We just saw an article not too long ago that said, I want to retire, but I haven't made up my decision. Which means he may still want to fight. You don't want to be hasty into something like that. But you notice every time we see these type of things, whether it's UFC, whether it's boxing, whatever, if the media feels you've had enough, they'll keep asking you that question after every fight. Do you think it's time to hang it up? Do you want to quit? Absolutely ridiculous. And then you have fighters who let their emotions get the best of them, and then they do quit. For those who don't know what happened, Peter Quillen, after the Jacobs fight, he was like, I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I want to spend more time with my family. Well, guess what? Peter Quillen getting ready to fight again. Sometimes, in the heat of the moment, people say things, boxers say things that they don't really mean, or maybe they just need a long break because of how much training, how much preparation it takes, and how much you have to understand. It transforms your life when you are fighting. All you know is to fight. That's what they teach you. Every answer is to punch people. If you haven't been through this, like Jim Lampley, like Max Kellerman, they ain't never been through this shit. And for them to start saying, he's done, he's over, this is not going to happen anymore, he's done. No. They said the same shit about Roy Jones. Roy Jones was fighting not too long ago. Right? But as soon as some guy is still old and is older or past his prime and they start fighting, they're still fighting because they don't want to quit, what they say? Oh, well, it's time for him to give it up. I can't believe he's still fighting. He should give it up. So if you're not still in your prime and fighting, and you have a warrior's heart because you can't tell anyone when to let it go, because that's what happened with George Foreman. Oh, he's too old. He's full. And Michael Moore, too over the hill. Then when George Foreman won, it was, oh, it's the great comeback story. That's what the fuck the media does. They flip-flop every fucking time. Every time. Just not too long ago, over the weekend, Floyd Mayweather, they asked him, are you done? Are you retired? Because you look like you can still fight. Floyd told y'all after the fight with Conor, I'm done. Yet you're still asking him. It goes to show you that the media will keep doing this, poking and prodding and trying to control what your decisions are as a human being. It's not your promoters. Your promoters, they set up certain fights. That's why you always hear, well, we're going to go back to the drawing board, see what my team, and see what's the best matchup for me. That's what they do. But if the fighter says he's calling it quits, then he calls it quits. Or if a fighter says, look, I'm not done yet, regardless of what these people are saying, then he's not done yet. And for them to make that decision, because the way he lost, he went on a shield. Like, you can't even be mad at that. It's not like he was in the corner all cowered up and just being beat up on. No. He was in the center of the ring, they were throwing, and he got caught. And he did hit the other guy, but the other guy was just much more stronger and much more faster. That's all it was. So if Chocolatito decides he wants to retire, it's because of his own volition. It's because he wants to. It's not because the media tried to put the bug out there. Oh, he's done. We're done with him. That's what they try and do. They try and control you. And if you can't understand, again, going back to Adrien Broner's case, dealing with this time and time again, and being told how bad he is and all this, and you understand, look, he's like, guys, I need help. I need help. I'm drowning here. I need help. I feel like I want to kill myself. I need help. And no one's giving him help. No one's getting him any help. They're not even trying. It's not just disrespectful to the sport. But y'all have to realize that Adrien Broner is a fucking human being. So yeah. Seeing that happen is just, it's hard to watch. It is. It's almost like watching a guy self-destruct. And I know some people out there are like, ooh, we can watch this go down, and they just eat popcorn all day and watch this shit happen. There's something fucking wrong with those type of people. Adrien Broner ain't never did anything to you. You know what I mean? Like, personally, you may think he's a cocky asshole or a smart ass or whatever, but guess what? Like I said, he needs help. He's not in his right frame of mind. And this is going to keep happening. This has been a problem with boxing for a very long time. A huge problem. I wonder if he was still alive, how Diego Corrales would have handled something like this. Warrior in the ring. You know what I mean? And to see, as he would have aged, I would like to even see Winky Wright come out and say something. But there's a lot of people that you see, a lot of these guys, they're worried about that payday. Okay, I'm retired, I'm going to start talking on commentary. Paulie does it really well. Bernard does it really well. Roy Jones is horrible at it. Andre Ward seems to be pretty good at it. It goes to show you, that there's certain things that happen like that. And was it not too long ago? Timothy Bradley is pretty good at it. But when you match him up with someone stupid, like what happened with Stephen A. Smith when he tried to grill Timothy Bradley, you can tell Bradley really just wanted to tell him, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about. And we just saw not too long ago, they had Stephen A. Smith and Teddy Atlas going at each other, and Teddy Atlas railroaded the shit out of him because Stephen A. Smith thinks if he talks loud enough that he's right, and Teddy Atlas like, oh no, I'm going to show you how it's done. And Teddy Atlas railroaded Stephen A. Smith. It made for great entertainment. It was hilarious. But still, it goes to show you, when Teddy Atlas, I told you before, I have so much respect for Teddy Atlas, because he will tell you how it's him and Paulie will both tell you how it is. They will tell you the truth. I don't care how you feel about them, or Paulie as a fighter, or whatever. Strictly, they're telling you the truth. And that's what you want in boxing, because there's a lot of dishonesty in boxing, the way it's set up. Whether it's promoters, whether it's your trainers, whether it's the media. There's so much that plays. That world is so... I don't want to say the word evil. I want to say very dark. And if you're not on top of the mountain, then it makes it even worse. I can't tell you how many guys I've seen fighting on TV, like on our local TV stations, and then you see them the next day all beat up and they're taking the fucking bus. They didn't make any fucking money from it. But the grind. That's what it's about. It happens. Anyways, I think I'm done. And I think that it's one of those things that need to be addressed more. I see all these articles about Adrien Broner needing help, but no one reaching out. And that's a sad thing. That is. I mean, you can't expect Floyd to come in every time and try to, help Adrien Broner or any of these type of boxers, because they've got their own shit going through. But the commission, I hold solely the training camp and the commission. Solely, I hold responsible for this. I do. When a boxer screams out he needs help like that, it's time to do something. Get them some help. That's how I see it. Get them some help. I know some of you are gonna say it's not their responsibility to do it. Yes, it is, because they are making tons of money off of these people. You have to understand. I don't think anyone really understands. Before there's an actual once the fight is signed, and they do the fighter interviews or whatever, they actually have these fighters and their management sit down at a table with the media, okay? And the media ask a bunch of questions, whether personal or not, and this is where you get all your personal stories and all this type of stuff from boxers. They ask a bunch of questions so they get a feel of their personality, they get a feel of their like I said, their determination, how they're going to fight in the ring and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and this is before you see, and we're talking way before you get to those pre-packaged, before the fights. Yes, I'm going to go in there, get the black background. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to slip my jab. This is what I'm going to do. He's not going to be able to stick with me. I'm going to move to the left and all that. We're not talking that shit. We're talking actually sitting down with the media for a good amount of time, and you're at one table and they're across another table, and they sit and they interview you. That's what it is. It's an interview. It's not just a boxing interview. It's a life interview. So they know how to sell you when it's time for you to fight. They're packaging you. So I feel as though there's a big responsibility on that part as well. I really do. Anyways, I'm done. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Until next time, we'll get back into it. All right? I'm out.